Thank you for joining us at 2cutebeads.com. Today we're going to show you how we make our Shambhala necklaces, and what I have in front of me are the supplies that are needed, and they also come in the kit. We have the 0.8 knotting cord, we have the 1.2 knotting cord, we have a 52mm bling tube, designer, and two 36s. We have four 10mm bling balls. We have 8 4.5 saucer beads, a 6mm bling ball, a 6x11 lobster clasp, a small piece of chain, and a ball end ear wire, our clipboard, and our nippers. Let's get started. So to start and be able to get my 8mm cord through all of my beads, I've got to stiffen it up, which I just run my lighter, or you can use the glue, but I run my lighter down it, and it's going to stiffen up. And then I'm going to take my nippers and I'm going to cut it at an angle so I can get it nicely and smoothly through all of my beads. Okay, I've got all my beads laid out for my necklace, and so I just take what I've cut here is I've got 3 feet of the 0.8, and I'm going to load all of my beads on. As you can see, the way we did it, I have a nice point on here, and they're going to slide through nice and easy. I'm going to be able to get them on. And so that's all I'm doing right now is I'm going to get my pattern for my necklace all loaded and ready to go. Okay, so now I've taken it and I've got it clipped to my full-size clipboard and divided so I have about, I don't know, I'd say about 10 inches on each side. I use this so that I can get under my beads easier when I have to use the full size, and the binder clips holding everything nice and tight. You want all your beads pushed up here so that you're wrapping nice and tight. And now we're just going to do regular Shambhala knots. What I have is I have my 1.2 jet luster knotting cord, and I have 4 feet of it that I start with. And again, it is right over left, left over right, under and up through. And I'm going to make my first knot even, and I'm going to try to get it just as tight as I can up here. And once your first knot's in, you're good. I've got my first knot in. I'm going to make sure it's up nice and tight, which it is. Then it is left over center and under right, my right cord under and up through, and now I have my first complete knot. Now I'm going to repeat this 23 more times. So now we have our 24 knots on. Now I'm going to take my lobster claw and I'm going to load it. I'm going to keep it back here, and what I need to do is I need to fold my 0.8 back in a loop. I'm going to hook it right here, and I'm going to continue and do 2 full knots. So now I'm going over both cords. So I'm going my right over by 2 cords, my left under my 2 cords, and up through, and then pulling tight, not real tight right now, tight. Then I am taking my left over my 2 cords, under my right cord, and up through, and now I'm going to stop. So now I'm going to unhook it from my clipboard, and I'm going to pull my center cord. And hopefully you haven't made it too tight, but then my lobster claw is going to go in here. So now my lobster claw is hooked on. Pull it nice and tight. With your hypo cement, you can either glue, or what we do here is we nip it off. Try to get in here close, but this is where it's at. And we burn it, seal it in. Then we take our sides, nip them pretty close. Burn it. Seal it in. We now have one half of our necklace done. So now we're going to move on and we're going to do the other side. Okay, now we have our one side done and we need to clip it. We don't want to clip our beads, but we want to clip it tight enough. We're going to push everything up tight as we can, and then we're going to clip down here. And again, I use something so that I can make my wrap. And now I have another 4 feet of my knotting cord, and we're going to do the same process. Put it in. It is right over our center cord, under our left cord. Our left is going to go under and up through our loop. And again, we have to make sure this is nice and tight. So we're going to kind of grab it and get it in place with our, we're going to push everything up to make sure we keep everything nice and tight. And then we're going to go with our left over, under our right under and up through. And again, the same as before, this is my first knot. I'm going to repeat this 23 more times, so I have 24 knots total. So now we have got our 24 knots on. And again, just like on the other side, we use the lobster's paw. This side, we're going to use 1.5 inches, or 2 or 3, however long you want your extension to be. This necklace is a 16. If you don't use the extension, it's going to be an 18 with the extension. So we just put it on and then clip everything down again on the side so we can finish wrapping. And then we're going to go right over both of our cords, left under both of our cords, and through our little loop. Pull tight. Now we have our left. It's going to go over our 2 cords, under our right cord. I'm cheating a little bit here by lifting it up. And if you want to, I mean, you can, I like to make it perfectly even on both sides, but that would be the end. I have my knot in, and again, all I do is take it, and I'm going to pull everything nice and tight. So now I have my closure in here. And again, we nip it off. And then we leave, I'd say we leave like 2 millimeters is what I normally leave on each side. And if you use glue and you don't like to burn, you just run your glue in here, and it's going to hold together nicely. I usually use the end of the lighter because okay. And there, so now we've got our extension on. And if we unclip everything, our necklace, as you can see, holds nice and tight. I kind of shaped this. Move everything out of the way here so you can see our necklace. And that is a Shambhala necklace that goes from a 16 to an 18. And you determine how long you want it, because I mean, if you wanted it to be a 20-inch, you just add 5 more knots on each side, and it can continue as long as you want. You don't have to, with the kit comes with it, but we put a little embellishment that matches on the back end. And I have right here my little 6mm bling ball. So now I'm just going to put a little embellishment on the end. So I start my wrap just as if I was making an earring. And I'm going to load it on. I stopped halfway through my wrap. Load on my bead. I'll hold it. Twist it nicely. It just gives it a finishing touch. And there we have it, our Shambhala necklace. Thank you for joining us at 2cutebeads.com.